thanking the Indian Finance Minister for offering a budget that the Prime Minister calls holistic in terms of carrying forward the Indian Reform Express, giving it a renewed push. Tax reforms are for all ambitious Indians, especially youngsters. That's what the Prime Minister reiterated a number of times during this 10-minute address, mentioning how the budget reaches out to youngsters across the country. Also mentioning how it will create more and more employment, keeping India's larger vision intact for 2047 for a Viksit Bharat. Trust-based governance and human-centric approach is what the Prime Minister said. That is what Union Budget 2026 comprises of. It's a unique budget, decreasing fiscal deficit and containing inflation, plus high capacity and high growth. And a lot of updates coming in from the Indian Prime Minister regarding his views on the Union Budget 2026. We'll be discussing this further with our guest who's joining us here on the broadcast. I'm now being joined live by Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani. He's the chairman of the Hiranandani Group and Narendra. Dr. Hiranandani, thanks so much for making time for us and joining us here. If you heard what the Prime Minister mentioned right now, he's saying that it's a Yuva Shakti budget. It's all for the youngsters. It comprises and only generates more and more employment. A big push has been given into capital expenditure. Earlier analysts, they called it a long-term budget. Your views on how this budget is going to impact India in the years to come and in the current time?
I think the headwinds of the world have now been addressed completely. The Prime Minister has announced Atmanirbhar Bharat a couple of years ago. But today, this budget is clearly focused on making it Atmanirbhar and focused on those segments which are critical to the economy for the future also. So whether it is data centers, whether it is chips, whether it is defense manufacturing, whether it is urban infrastructure, whether it is industrial growth, whether it is self-sufficiency, or whether it is MSMEC providing goods to the world, all the segments which we talk about says two things. One, we become Atmanirbhar, and also that the growth should benefit all segments of society, and that is extremely important for him. And that is why the segmentation in terms of what is required in terms of skilling, health, other aspects of education, all these are individually addressed and solutions and allocations specifically mentioned by the finance minister. So I think all in all, we see a different type of budget where we see continuity in 90% of the matters which were addressed last year. But what we see this year, in addition to everything else, is the focus on CapEx to be further increased. So I see a focus on CapEx, which is providing downstream multiplier effect to other industries, especially in the case of housing. One of the things not mentioned but continued is the Prime Minister's Awas Yojana with 69,000 crores announced last year. This will continue to be there as available to the people for affordable housing in this year, current year, but it's not mentioned in the budget speech as we see it. All this indicates to me that the growth story continued, but trying to see that the benefit percolates down, whether it is fisheries, whether it is agricultural input. Challenges have not been addressed, like for instance, extra subsidy which is coming to urea is still continued. But at the same time, they've been able to see that inflation is kept under control and the budgetary deficit has also been improved, though marginally. But I think there is a good balancing budget which the finance minister is able to do in spite of the large amount of spending on projects.
Understood. Dr. Hiranandani, since you're joining us from Mumbai, let me also get an understanding from you on how you feel about the stock markets. They've been up and down and largely down. Apart from farmers, it's mostly been red. When everything in this budget seems to be for the people, for the larger vision of India, for the lead up to 2047, with full of ambition, giving more pace to India's lead up to 2047 and where it positions itself or envisions itself to be. How long do you find the stock markets reacting this way before they level back up?
I think the action on the ground of what is promised in the budget takes some time to get implemented. I think execution is the key, and as you are aware, all these factors mean setting up various institutions, various missions that are there. Manufacturing, the benefit is given. So the capex by the private sector, by the government sector, organizing these committees to actually take action does take time. So it's not something which is going to benefit industry tomorrow morning. Earlier may have been an expectation that what the finance minister would do would be short-term gains. So that has not been received by the capital markets, except in some small ways where the things have been tweaked. But by and large, no major changes have taken place in that. So I think industry was expecting it. But what the Prime Minister, Finance Minister has done actually is to see that it is not something which will benefit only 1 year, but will make the direction to 2030 and 2047 happen and become the third largest GDP country in the world. So I think the mission and goal is the same, which is growth and improvement and larger profits and improvement for society. But the route which probably industry was expecting is short-term gains that they would get in terms of the stock market valuation. So value proposition is what the Prime Minister has given, but the short-term gains may not be seen in this current year, is probably what industry feels.
So, Doctor, and you can add your insights to it as I come back to you. This budget is a long-term budget. This is for anybody watching this. One cannot be expecting the results or the effects to shape up overnight or within one course of a trading day. It is a long-term budget. It's a lead-up. It's a larger vision of where India is heading and where it envisions itself to be after another number of years till 2047. But as of now, let's shift focus. This is one sector we've not discussed so far, the medical sector. 5 medical hubs have been announced. They've been called 5 university townships with industry and logistics corridors, multiple colleges, and there are 3 new all-India institutes for Ayurveda which have been announced. A big boost to the healthcare sector and positioning India as a medical tourism hub. If you can provide more insight on that, Dr. Hiranandani, where is India envisioning itself with these medical tourism hubs?
Well, what has happened in the last couple of years, maybe last 1 decade, is that hospitals and medical availability in terms of care has come up to world-class standards. And hence, there is a possibility of drawing a lot of health tourism to come into the country. And this is possible now much more because we meet international best practices standards in India today and at affordable rates. So if you were to go to America and get the same treatment done for cancer, for heart or anything, you would spend 4 to 10 times more than what you would spend in the best hospital treatment available in India. And surprisingly, many of the doctors in America are Indian doctors trained in India before they went to the United States. So I do see
people actually finding it cheaper to travel to India, get the medical treatment and go back rather than getting it done overseas. And that's what India is cashing in on in this budget. Over to you, sir.
You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. There are many NRIs whom I know, doctors, people, others who come to Mumbai for a holiday and are getting small things done, like even dental treatment. They would come to a hospital in India and get the best treatment over here and go back because it is at 1/4 or 1/5 the price at what they would pay in the United States. So I do see an opportunity in that segment, but that's not the only segment. I think tourism is going to see a double leap of medical thing. And the third is the education sector. The Maharashtra government, Mr. Fadnavis has already fixed up that in Mumbai 3.0, 5 large universities and 250 acres of land are set aside for international universities to come to Mumbai 3.0. And already, I believe, 3 have signed agreements in Davos to come and set up university campuses in Mumbai. Mumbai 3.0. So I think the focus on health, education, hospitality. I think hospitality was mentioned, but not in great measure. But I think that hospitality is growing at more than 20% compounded growth this year alone in terms of new investments taking place into it and new centers like Alibag, like what should I say? Temple tourism and other locations are also growing compoundedly. He talked about trekking and other areas which are going to grow. I think each and every aspects of it separately is sought, and also the fact that we are going to train people and skill them. You know, many sectors we are growing the industry but not skilling them. For example, in the real estate sector, we are 20 lakh workers short today, skilled workers. So suthar, carpenters, fitters, and all these people, we are 20 lakh workers short. And by 2030, we'll be 50 lakhs workers short. So on one side, we talk about unemployment, and on the other side, we don't have skilled workers. So skilling will become much more important in the next couple of years, especially with AI coming into it. I think skilling, reskilling, and learning and unlearning is going to be very important. That's why education will take a different turn in the next couple of years too.
That was Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani joining us from Mumbai, chairman of the Hiranandani Group. Sir, thank you so much for offering so much insight and furthering our endeavor of simplifying and understanding Budget 2026 for all our viewers to understand where India is headed and what all these developments and these updates, these announcements would mean in regular day-to-day life and in different sectors. Dr. Hiranandani, thanks so much.